And welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Friday, February 7th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. 3 days after receiving a letter of approval for duty-free concessions on relief supplies to be distributed to flood-affected persons here, Opposition Senator Dr. Linton Lewis received another letter revoking the approval and ordered to make the necessary payments for the items. According to the letter dated January 20th, 2014 from the Director General of Finance, Dr. Lewis was advised that approval has been granted for a 100% waiver of import duty, VAT and customs service charge on the attached list of relief supplies. But a letter dated January 23rd, 2014 highlighted that Cabinet at its meeting on January 22nd, 2014 denied the application for duty-free concessions on the goods. Opposition leader Annie Eustace said they will not be taking the situation lightly and hinted at possible protest action.
I said, this is craziness. If that have now applies to the stuff that we're going to get in, most likely in the week coming, we'll have to have some form of protest about it. I haven't decided what they form it, whether it's a picket or a march, I haven't decided that yet. But I'm not going to let it to lie down. I'm already beginning to get calls from the persons sending this stuff from Canada about this matter and expressing their grave disappointment.
Eustace added that the withdrawal of the duty-free concessions should not have happened, as he had already written to the Ministry of Finance on the issue.
I've been worried about that if anything comes to us. I made a statement, as the Prime Minister used in his convention, that if anything is going to come into the NDP, I don't want it to pass through Nemo because they're dissatisfied with the way things are being distributed. And we look after our own thing. And I sent a letter to the Ministry of Finance before all this, indicating that I'll be seeking duty-free concession, anything that comes from the NDP.
Efforts to contact the Director General of Finance for a comment on the matter proved futile. No comment is the response by opposition leader Annie Eustace to questions on 4 persons making the news this week known to be associated with his New Democratic Party. In an interview with SVG-TV News, the opposition leader was asked to comment on his former secretary Rashida Nichols' dismissal and his failure to pay her severance, the resignation of the host of the party's New Times program, Ernesto Cook, and the attendance of Frank De Silva and the wife of one of his election candidates to the governing Unity Labour Party's convention last Sunday.
I know some of the things that have happened, and I listen, I'm not going to comment on those.
Speaking off camera, Eustace said he chose not to speak on the issue of his former secretary as the matter is in court and that he is to meet with a tribunal. However, member of the tribunal Joseph Burns-Bennedy had to recuse himself from the matter. Meanwhile, the opposition leader added that many persons are being consumed by the resignation of former public relations officer and host of the NDP's New Times program, Ernesto Cook. Eustace said after discussions held, they decided that it would be best if Cook resigns owing to his father's illness, among other things.
I gave an undertaking that any obligations he had to him would be met. And he sent the letter. All I did is read the letter. All it simply says that he's resigning, and I knew some of the circumstances. He has some serious problems with his father's illness, and so on. And he obviously is looking to move towards the United States at this time.
And turning his attention to the upcoming general elections, Eustace says his party is getting ready for when the date is announced. Decked in a black jacket, a white shirt and a yellow tie, Eustace revealed that the party candidates were getting ready to take photographs for the party's manifesto. The opposition leader says he is confident that the party will win the elections this time around.
We are doing the things I think we need to do. No one really knows the date for the election. But we are aware that the political fever is rising. And we do what we can to make ourselves ready.
And you don't have any predictions of how the votes will go?
How the votes will go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when?
Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar says this country's agriculture sector stands poised to become the breadbasket of the Southern Caribbean. Speaking at the launch of the $6 million Farmers Credit Support Program yesterday, Caesar said the vision is being identified with several initiatives taken by the ministry, including the exportation of over 200 heads of cattle in 2013 to Sister Island, Grenada, which they expect will continue this year.
In 2014, we already have that order in terms of the quantity and other heads of livestock to be exported. We have increased our trade with Barbados. We have increased our trade with Trinidad and Tobago in terms of our export in root crops. And we want to continue to build on the foundation which has been established by this government through the years.
The $6 million Farmers Credit Support Program, once utilized properly, will increase production and productivity in the agriculture sector here. That's according to Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar at the launch of the program on Thursday.
We have a significant task ahead as we seek to reduce our food import bill. We have a significant challenge ahead as we have to ensure that matters of food security, that they are brought under control. We also have to ensure that as we move forward and as we develop as a nation and as a people, that we produce more and that we create that environment to reduce poverty in many rural communities.
Caesar noted that the ministry will seek to ensure that national diversification in agriculture continues in 2014.
Brothers and sisters, farmers, I see a great day coming for us in the agricultural sector. The credit facility is one very important step. We have to also ensure that the labor side of it, that we work harder and that we are steadfast and that we are resolute as we move the process forward. There are many traders here, and I want to repeat the significant importance of having our traders with us who will be moving the goods out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some will be going to the United States, some will be going to Europe, and as noted previously, a lot of the goods will be going to the neighboring islands.
Customers of St. Vincent Electricity Services Limited VINLEC will this month benefit from a decision by the company to subsidize the fuel surcharge rate in the absence of the company's hydroelectric plants. The hydroelectric facilities, which traditionally contribute an average of 18 to 20% of the electricity generated annually, were severely damaged during the December trough system. VINLEC says its customers will this month pay 48.33 cents per unit on their electricity bills instead of 60.09 cents, as the company had already promised to cushion the cost for customers. A release from the company says that this month it will be subsidizing the fuel surcharge in the amount of 11.76 cents per unit, a total value of $1.3 million. During the month of January, the company says it spent $6.8 million on fuel for the generation of electricity. This compares with $5.9 million in December 2013 and $5.6 million in January 2013. The company's technical and civil works teams continue to work diligently to restore its hydroelectric facilities in the shortest possible time. And opposition leader Anim Eustace says his party is taking credit for VINLEC's decision to back down from an increase on the fuel surcharge rate. In an interview with SVG-TV News earlier today, the opposition leader said he felt good that he and his party members were able to challenge the electricity providers on the issue. Eustace said had there been an increase, he believes that there would have been more cutoffs and ordinary consumers would have been dealt a double blow to their pockets to pay for electricity usage.
Especially commercial businesses, they would have to pay an extra $3.3 million in surcharge, which the same people who are cut off would have to pay them, because that will come into their prices, the goods that they sell. So it's a double lash you get there, as an ordinary consumer. You pay an increased service charge. the business will pass on their service charge to you as part of their cost.
The youngest political party here, the Democratic Republican Party, is now putting forward some suggestions on how to deal with the relief distribution. In a statement issued earlier today, the DRP says as far as is possible, the government needs to remove what it calls ULP hand-picked political party hacks, who the party believes are engaged in the practice of putting names of persons who are without need on lists to receive aid. The DRP says such persons should be replaced with workers from the National Emergency Organization, NEMO. Meanwhile, the DRP adds that the opposition NDP must learn to work with organizations such as NEMO and desist from giving the impression that NEMO is incapable of responsible and professional work. It says the NDP must refrain from blaming NEMO unnecessarily for things that have gone wrong. Additionally, the DRP in the statement appeals to Vincentians to refrain from any hostile or violent reactions at all times as the rebuilding process continues.